Hello, people. It's your boy Osman back again with another transfer show. As always, your latest news surrounding Manchester United Football Club. However, today we have got some more of a special show. We will be covering all the latest stories from the rival teams as well, because to be honest, it's starting to heat up now in the Premier League. We're starting to get a lot of rumours, but before we get into that, as always, I'm going to play the intro so my homie Husam can watch his boy Trent get chopped one more time. Yes, everyone's favorite intro. Host, I know you love it, bro. I know you love it. Yeah, 6 times. Look, fair play to Liverpool. You won Champions League 6 times. I can't banter you. You're not Arsenal, you know. If you haven't watched yesterday's podcast, by all means, feel free to watch it. Oh, God, come on. Just quickly, I woke up the day after, well, today, honestly, and Kayla's one of my boys, and I was thinking, you know what? I was feeling a bit bad. I'm feeling a bit bad. Normally, I don't feel bad, you know. But you violated him so hard. Like, I watched it back when obviously I clipped it and stuff. I watched that, but I thought, raw, man caught every single bullet. I've never seen him that quiet. But listen, the guy doesn't need any introduction. He's here in the flesh once again. Host, thank you for turning up once again, bro. It's an absolute pleasure, man. How you doing?
The pleasure's mine. Obviously, yesterday's shows was absolutely incredible. And speaking of, I was on Kale's show earlier. Kale was so rattled. He was still rattled from yesterday. Honestly, the man could not put 2 sentences together because of what I said yesterday. So you know, the thing is, I can take banter from United fans, from whoever, but if you're an Arsenal fan, please just stay away, man. Like, come on, know your level. Go banter West Ham, etc. But anyway, shout out to Cahill from the 3 in Midfield podcast.
Absolutely, man.
Wonderful
Always,
people.
Man.
Thank you so much, Usman, for inviting me back on. And it's a pleasure. Happy to be here.
Alhamdulillah, obviously,
Alhamdulillah.
You know, fellow Jordanian brother and that, you know, I get it right, obviously, on camera and that, but, you know, we won't say what I've said off screen. But anyways, we'll get into today's show. If you're joining us, as always, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in. We want to hear your thoughts. And as Husam was just said, shout out to Kale. Obviously, always love to the homie. We've got a couple of fans here from Husam's crew. Hi, good trim, Husam. Absolutely.
Big up Ela, man. My G, yes. Ela. Big up.
I've already told you people need to start hiding the wives, but obviously I thought I'd say it on stream as well. You know what I'm saying? Edwin, the homie, big man, Usman. What are you saying, guys? Hope you both good. Top quality content as usual. I appreciate the love, my guy. But anyways, gonna get into the story first and foremost. Harry Kane, look, just to put a bit of context, Husam's done about 2 shows today, and he's probably spoken about this about 7 times already. So please bear that in mind, because obviously, you know, it's only so many times because people are saying things. But Harry Kane, first and foremost, he hasn't turned up to training. The second time, I know you've spoken about already on Kale's show, but for the viewers that didn't tune into that, what are your thoughts regarding the situation? And also, I don't know if you've seen Gary Neville's comments as well, which I'm sure we'll get into. What are your thoughts on the whole situation? Do you think it's time now Kane just dips, basically? He needs to go to a bigger team, so to speak.
I think with the repetitive thing you're saying, I feel like that's just all YouTube right now, because there's nothing to talk about. Like no one's even made any major signings. They're making our life way more difficult. Like no one's actually signing anyone for us to even get on a show and speak about it. So these rumors are what fuel the shows now. In terms of Harry Kane, I look at it from the club's perspective. I look at it from Kane's perspective. From Kane's perspective, totally. I'm big up Big Ron, who was there on both shows as well.
Yeah,
big up. So when it comes to Harry Kane, I'm looking at it from his perspective. Obviously, I did mention the example of Gerrard. The difference is, for example, when we talk about Gerrard, he basically won everything bar the Premier League. When it comes
Yeah,
to Harry Kane, he hasn't won anything yet. So when I look at it from his perspective, he's 28, going to be 29, going to be 30, 31 soon. So is he going to trust Tottenham to actually try to win something in the next 2 3 years? Because I don't think that's possible. We've seen it, and like they haven't built on what they've already have. So I understand Kane wanting to leave 100%. The only thing standing in his way is Daniel Levy. So he is going to make his sale a living nightmare. We all know how Daniel
absolutely.
Levy deals with transfers. He does not mess around. He's not going to sell him to Chelsea. He prefers him moving abroad. That's why PSG possibly, I think, is a massive possibility. So that's another one for him to go to. I think Daniel Levy is gonna ask for so much money for Kane, which is warranted. But I think
Yeah,
here's the thing. I'm a Liverpool fan. I've seen my club go through the selling club phase. So I know what Tottenham Hotspur fans feel like right now. However, I do understand it. I see, because it happened with Suarez, it happened with Sterling, it happened with a few players from like me as a Liverpool fan. So I can understand 100% why Spurs fans are upset. But I'm looking at it more from Kane's perspective. Spurs have failed him multiple times. There were a few times where they could have pushed on, bought a few players to challenge where they didn't. So there are a few other different things. So I 100% understand Kane wanting to leave the club and understand what he's trying to do.
yeah. No, look. First and foremost, from Kane's perspective, I don't think there's anyone going to disagree with. I don't even think many Spurs fans, even Cage from yesterday, was completely on Kane's side in terms of he needs to move, so to speak. I think for me personally, right, there's a couple of questions I want to ask you. First and foremost, regarding what you said, you saw Suarez, Sterling, them kind of guys. This is what I've been saying to a lot of Spurs fans. A lot. There's like two Spurs fans but the Spurs fans that I know, it's similar to the Coutinho situation. Of course, Liverpool are a bigger club. Of course, they're always gonna have a bigger pull. We understand that, but as a Man United fan, when Coutinho left Liverpool, I was absolutely buzzing. I thought, yes, this guy's finally left. I'm sick and tired of this guy cutting in and putting in the top corner. He was pissing me off. He's always bailing Liverpool out. Of course, you had other players contributing as well, but Coutinho was the guy. And obviously, Kane is the guy at Spurs. I think everyone knows that. They have got Heung-min Son as well. He can potentially fill that void. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But the point I'm making is that when you saw Coutinho, I don't know what your thoughts were, but and a lot of Liverpool fans that spoke were absolutely devastated. You get that 130 million, you buy Alisson and Virgil van Dijk, and you go from an individual reliant team, not so much on Coutinho, but you became a team. You plugged the gaps that you needed to plug. And for the betterment of the team, it was a complete right thing. There's no Liverpool fans that's going to say, oh, we're devastated with Saul Coutinho. I mean, do Liverpool fans even care about that guy? Like, he's an absolute nightmare at Barcelona. And I'm not saying Kane's going to have a nightmare at Man City. I think he will go and win the league if he goes there. But the point I'm making is, I think this would be the best thing that Spurs have done. If they get 130 million and they spend it wisely, which is not something they've done in the past, 4 players maybe. I know they got Romero today, absolute baller from what I've heard. I don't personally know a lot about him, but everyone I've spoken to, highly rated. They've got Gilles, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but obviously got Lamella for him. And then they're looking to get other players. I think Kane's always going to be difficult to replace. We understand that. But from a Spurs perspective, if they sell Kane, spend that money on 3 plays even, 130 million worth, they could be looking at a decent run-in. I mean, Kane's going to win the league, good for him. But it's about rebuilding. No player's ever bigger than the club. You guys, like you said, Suarez was unplayable at Liverpool. It really was. The guy left. Okay, granted, it's taking you time to rebuild, but you've got there. You've got there in the end. And every single team has that player that they always think that they can't lose. Hazard for Chelsea, they've replaced him, so what? But what are your thoughts on that comparison? Also, would you take Kane at Liverpool? Because I personally think Kane would be a perfect fit for Liverpool with the way you guys play. I know Firmino plays his false nine. I know you don't like Firmino, but I think Kane, of course, would play that Firmino role to absolute perfection. So what are your thoughts on the comparison? Also, would you take Kane at Liverpool? I know you can't afford him, but just hypothetically.
The very subtle dig there at the end. Anyway, when it comes to Harry Kane, I think the key in the question you asked is when you said spend it wisely. That's the thing that Tottenham Hotspur have failed to do and have given us no proof of. Like when we sold Suarez, for example, we spent that money on a bunch of players. We signed Lambert, we signed Lalana, we signed a few players who never really replaced Suarez. So here's the thing. If Spurs take that 130 million and sign three world-class players, then what you're saying is 100% correct. They could build on that. You're talking about a totally different discussion. But have Spurs shown me enough for me to go like, I think they're going to spend that money wisely? No, because I don't think they're going to spend that money wisely. I don't expect them to, even if they do sell him. I think they're probably gonna spend that money, like maybe buy 20 million worth players or something like that. So it's going to be a very tough one for them.
Yeah,
Replacing his
absolutely.
goals is another problem they're gonna have to look to solve because a striker of that ilk is very rare to find. My opinion, best striker in world football, just my opinion. I
Yeah,
feel
of
like with
course.
with with Harry Kane leaving Tottenham Hotspur, it's good for him. Obviously, I don't want him to join City. I want him to join PSG. That's where he can go win the league elsewhere. I because him at City would be not normal. So I think with the Kane situation, do we trust honestly Spurs to spend the money wisely? No, because that's the key in question for me. When you said spend it
Yeah.
wisely, because I don't expect them to spend it wisely, and Spurs have a problem of attracting players. We've seen it with Kunde, how he responded to Tottenham Hotspur. So that's another problem for them. When it comes to would I take him at Liverpool, 100%. Kane plays for every team in world football. If
Absolutely.
Bayern buy him, he plays alongside Lewandowski. So Kane plays 100%. So I think I would take him. Firmino, my opinions on him have been well documented. I'm not trying to trash Firmino for Firmino for the 500th day in a row. But anyway, I 100% would take Harry Kane. People think he's somehow like some sort of target striker, which I disagree with. I think he's very good at link up play, very high work rate, very smart player. So I would take him. But like you said, unfortunately, he's out of our price range and out of our age range as well because we don't sign players in their primes like we rarely do.
Yeah, no, I hope he doesn't go to Liverpool because if he goes to anyone in the league, they're gonna win the league. Realistically speaking, I think he will. I think PSG is definitely an option because of the Poch effect. But I mean, I don't know what they're really doing regarding the situation. Just quickly, but before we move on from the Kane, we are going to rattle through a lot of transfers, so don't worry. We're not just. It's not a Kane show, obviously. Just quickly want to touch up on the Gary Neville thing because a lot of people are commenting if Pogba did X, Y, and Z. I mean, obviously, I tweeted it and it somewhat went viral. Not viral, but where it is, where it's. Yeah, so let's have a look. Where is it? If Pogba did what Kane did, there would be protests and everything. I mean, I don't want to just pinpoint Pogba because I mean, I already have, but I just want to talk about Gary Neville quickly, very shortly. Gary Neville's comments on Harry Kane is the most hypocritical thing I've ever seen. For those of you that haven't seen it, basically he's saying something along the lines of Harry Kane should not be doing X, Y, and Z. He's a model professional, yada, yada, yada. And then he says something along the lines of, however, it must be something crazy, basically making an excuse for Kane. I mean, as people have said, if it was Pogba, if it was anybody else, if it was an England's darling star striker, then there would be complete and utter. If it was Sterling, even let's just use Sterling as an example. If it was Sterling, the amount of backlash you would get, and we know the reason why. I mean, for me personally, it's just the hypocrisy in British media. Gary Neville, for me, I mean, look, he had one golf trip with Kane, and now he thinks the boys and he's defending him. At the end of the day, call a spade a spade. What he's doing, what Kane's doing to force a move is very unprofessional. Whether it's the right thing to do or not, it's unprofessional. And Gary Neville, mate, you've just embarrassed yourself. And not that you're going to watch this, but that's just my thoughts on the matter. Anyways, let's move on from another major rumour. Romelu Lukaku to Chelsea. Again, host, shout out to you. I know you've done a show. This is the thumbnail, of course. Make sure you check it out. His socials are down below as well as his link. But host, just your thoughts on the Lukaku thing. Do you think there's any truth in Lukaku to Chelsea?
Well, according to rumors, which we don't know who to believe, to be honest, in this transfer window, apparently Lukaku was always second choice to Haaland. Now, because of the Haaland thing failing, I'd say at Chelsea, maybe they're gonna put a third bid in. I'm unsure of the Haaland situation. It's just one of those marquee signings that's gonna take all summer for us to figure out. So I think Lukaku 100% is like Chelsea are interested in him. They do want to sign him. I think if Chelsea sign Lukaku, they 100% are title contenders 100%. They
Absolutely.
like, to some people they already are. To me, they aren't without a striker because Kunde can't score goals, so I'm not really bothered. So when it comes to goal scoring, that's clearly their problem. So if
Yeah.
they sign Lukaku, obviously, even if you have the theory that he does not turn up against big teams, which is fair enough, there are still 16 other teams to beat in the league. So that's my thing. So I think Lukaku definitely propels them to be serious title challengers. And yeah, that transfer is definitely on. But it'll be interesting because I did an interview with an Italian journalist, and according to him, Lukaku is one of the untouchables at Inter Milan. Now the
Yeah, yeah,
question
I've
is,
seen
when
that.
money is involved, does the untouchable thing go out the door? That's my
Yeah,
honest opinion. I think if Chelsea go and slap the money on the table, the whole untouchable thing goes out the window.
absolutely. I think Haaland was never going to happen. I mean, they're not going to get rid of Sancho and Haaland in the same window. And you saw the way they dealt with Sancho and Maynard last season, and they're very stubborn. And look, credit to them, they do very good business. But in terms of Lukaku and that comment, I've seen it. I don't know if Fabrizio Romano tweeted that similar line. I don't know. I feel like I've seen it somewhere, but I think Lukaku's going to be at Chelsea to come the end of this window. Look, obviously nothing's ever guaranteed. Of course, we understand that Inter Milan have no reason to sell. They've just won the league. They've got rid of Hakimi, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot of links for Barella, Lautaro Martinez potentially on the way out as well. I mean, Barella is highly likely that he'll go, but Martinez is definitely being linked with a lot of teams. Is obviously Barcelona want him as well. But Lukaku, for me, I feel like it makes sense for him to come back to the Premier League. He's okay. He's not been to Italy for a long period. He's gone there. He's won the title. I personally think he's not challenging himself at Italy. I think it's too easy for him at the moment. And this isn't a disrespect to the Italian league because I do watch it a fair bit. The defending is nowhere near good enough. In terms of the amount, I mean, this is a bit of a cop out because I've just won, just won the Euros. But in terms of the amount of space, the time you have on the ball in general against the lesser teams, it seems like you have a day and a half in terms of your ability on the ball, your time on the ball, that kind of thing. It's just a lot easier. It's not as intense as it is the Premier League. Lukaku comes back to Chelsea. It's a perfect story. Fits straight in. He's the number 9. He's exactly what they need. The last piece in the jigsaw, as you said. Without a striker, I think they're going to fall short and come second. So I think Roman's going to go big. He needs a striker. He knows he needs a striker. Timo Werner's not that guy. And I think Lukaku makes perfect sense. It's a match made in heaven for both Lukaku and Roman Abramovich. So I can only see it going one way, which would be Lukaku going to Chelsea. I personally think Lukaku's going to Chelsea, Kane's going to City, and a lot of people saying Haaland's coming my night next summer. I mean, I don't think that's good. I mean, there's a possibility, don't get me wrong. There's definitely a possibility because of the money that we pay. I know you're going to laugh, but I would expect him to go Bayern Munich, surely. Surely Haaland would go Bayern Munich. I do think my night would be in his top 3, though. But obviously depends on Bayern Munich and how much they want to pay. But anyways, that is the striker department covered. Obviously, let us know your thoughts on the matter. We're going to get through this show quickly because we both had long days. We don't need to be here waffling all day long. Just quickly on Pogba, because I've not actually heard your thoughts on Pogba. I don't know if you've ever tweeted out about Pogba. Pogba's finally back in training. Obviously, he's not signing a new contract. Or is he signing a new contract? Do you think the Pogba thing somewhat is a dampener on the sort of not momentum, but it seems like there's sort of good vibes under Oli. Ollie's at the wheel and all that. Do you think the whole Pogba thing is going to be a dark cloud over United season?
Pogba has been a dark cloud on United because of his agent, not because of himself, because of Mino Raiola. Now I don't know if Raiola just says it by himself or Pogba asks him to. We'll never know. But I think Raiola is the problem, not Pogba himself. Obviously, United are risking it all if they don't sell Pogba this summer. In terms of Pogba, I rate him very highly. I think he's better than Bruno, personally. I think if he was given the freedom to do what Bruno does, he'd even have even better numbers. But obviously, Pogba's just been playing in a double pivot, left wing and stuff. So it's just never going to work. I think it's time for him to go. I think at United, obviously, right now, he's probably hit his ceiling of what he can achieve unless he just wants to stay till he's 30 or something and retire there. Maybe he could win something else. But I rate him very highly. I think from a business standpoint, actually, keeping him is a huge mistake because you can't lose Pogba for £0 for the second time again after what they did.
Husam is happening, bro. They're gonna force him to stay. I'm telling you right now, they're forcing him to stay, and he's gonna go next season and think, Why would I sign a 400 grand contract at Man United when I can get a 500 one at Juventus or PSG or even, God knows, that even Man City, God knows, they might even come in on a cheeky one.
I know you like him, but the thing is, just to ask you a question, do you think it makes sense to let him go for free? That's the problem.
I mean, it's embarrassing first and foremost. Let's be real, innit? Like, it's very much embarrassing. Like, for me, I keep changing my mind. Like, every day I keep changing my mind on the whole situation because there's a of course Ali's the manager, but there's a small glimmer of hope if Pogba does stay that we can definitely challenge with the additions that we've got. I mean, you said we're gonna come sixth, so I don't know why you're nodding your head. Yeah. I mean, you're coming sixth though. Man said we're coming sixth. Okay, yeah, 6 times on that, but. Like, I just think, of course, Pogba on his day is world class. We all know that. If we let him go, I just don't have faith in us replacing him. That's the issue for me. If we were a proper club, that, like, let's just say Bayern Munich, them mans would already replace Pogba and said, "Yo, dip,
Liverpool,
like, get lost, bro, get lost, man." Not Liverpool. Have you guys signed anyone this window? Like, I don't know if you guys have signed anyone. Like,
Konate.
Oh, right, sorry, yeah, just the one guy, not anyone else that you need in it. But yeah, look, for me personally. I think he's gonna. I would have sold him if I was in charge and bought 2 extra players in. But obviously, I'm not in charge. But listen, let's talk about Liverpool just briefly, innit? Because obviously there is one player that is linked to both of our clubs. That is Saul Niguez of Atletico Madrid. Top player. I'm not gonna sit here and banter because he might come to us, so I'm not gonna banter him too much just yet. But I feel like you're very confident going to Liverpool. You got a source on that, or is that just the feeling you're getting?
I'm not gonna comment on that. Let's just leave that for because I this will get clipped up forever if I said I had the source. So let's just allow that.
All right, forget the source. And what are your thoughts on Saul? Do you think there's a
chance
I think with Liverpool?
With Saul, he like obviously besides us being a bigger club, I think he suits the system more. I think he fits into Klopp's system like a shoe. Saul is not the player United need. United simply need a CDM. Simple as. Now Saul can play defensive midfield, but he's not the ideal defensive midfielder because I feel like United need that bastard destroyer type of defensive midfielder, like an Ndidi, maybe like someone like that. That would be ideal for United. A defensive midfielder who can end the counterattacks, tackle, get stuck in there. I think that's what United need. In terms of fitting the system more, Saul is 100% a Liverpool Football Club player. He is a high work rate player. He's very versatile. I've spoken to Atletico fans. They've told me he can literally play right back, left back, defense, CDM, CM, CAM. He can play everywhere. He's very versatile. And knock on wood, I don't want to jinx this, but he's very available as well. So I think he hasn't had any serious injury for the entire time he's been at Atletico. So that's a massive positive. So in terms of fitting the style, literally there's no midfielder in world football that fits the style as much as Saul. In terms of price tag, he's in our price range. He's only going to cost 40 to 45 million pounds, so that's another thing. So I think he fits us perfectly, fits us like a glove. And a midfield of Fabinho, Thiago, Saul is going to be an absolute madness. So I think I am confident Saul will come. I am really confident.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I don't think he's coming right now for the reason that in my opinion, we don't need him. Like, you know, as you said rightly, we need to destroy. I've said Ndidi since day one, like last season. I mean, there's loads of receipts. I wanted Ndidi from the start. But in terms of Saul as a player, like, he obviously is very versatile, as you've quite alluded to. But if he is to go to Liverpool, I would be somewhat worried about it because you won't have any more excuses for when you don't win the league with Saul, Thiago, and Fabinho. Like, what would your excuse be when Klopp?
No, our excuse would be Firmino. No. So, Osman, trust me. Wallahi, if you had Firmino up top, you would have excuse after excuse. You don't go through the pain I go through with Firmino. So trust me. We just need. Like, I'm just so mad when I mention him because we do need a forward. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I've told you yesterday's show, Tammy Abrahams, brother. Tammy Abrahams. You need to stop disrespecting.
Tammy Abraham is literally the English Firmino. There is no point.
I think that's a disrespect to Tammy Abrahams. I'm not going to lie. But in terms of Saul, I probably am going to agree with you because I do think it makes more sense for Liverpool to sign him. The only reason for us to sign him is if Pogba goes, basically. I don't see why we're going to sign Saul, have Van der Beek already on the bench, have Pogba. I mean, I know Saul's versatile, But I just don't think that's what we need. We need a specialist now. We need someone that's going to come in, slot along with Pogba, Fred, whoever's playing, and actually make a difference and offer balance, which your midfield, sadly, would definitely have if you do sign. So fair play to Liverpool if you secure Saul Niguez. Just quickly on Trippier, to be honest, I don't really care too much about the story because I don't think there's anything on it, so we might just brush over it. If Trippier comes, do you think he's the best right back in the league? Like if he comes to Man United, what do you reckon?
Oh my goodness, man! I can't believe people are entertaining this conversation. Trent is the best right back in world football ever since he stepped foot into the first 11. I'm not trying to.
Your boy left at home. My Trippier was on the plane, lad. That's all I'm asking. Like
he was not left at home. He was injured. So get your story correct.
Listen, if Trippier comes to Man United, obviously we'll touch upon that a bit later on because obviously that's closer to end of the window. He will be the best right back in the league, but that's just my personal opinion.
No,
let us know your thoughts.
But I do think he will start. He will start though, because here's my theory. If you want to attack and Oli wants to, like, how can I say this? Dominate teams using possession and actually score goals and create opportunities, aka in the final, Trippier is passed to Luke Shaw. Like when he crossed it in and Luke Shaw scored the goal. That's something Trippier can do that Wan-Bissaka can't. So when it comes to this whole defensive right back thing, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, if you're trying to dominate against 16, 17 teams in the league, Trippier makes more sense stylistically than Wan-Bissaka. So I think he could start as well.
Yeah, no, I've said that as well. I think Wan-Bissaka needs a lot of competition first and foremost. Like you said, stylistically, Trippier is the better right back. I think Wan-Bissaka defensively, obviously one of the better fullbacks in the league. Arguably on his day, I mean, he's better than Trent defensively. I'm not even going to.
No, he's not. But anyway,
I mean, it's not even up for a debate. Really, he's way better than Trent.
It kinda is. It kinda is.
I mean, it's really not. But anyways, obviously going forward, you know. As you said, he's like a fish on a bike, which was one of the lines off the show, amongst the other lines. But yeah, Trippier would be a very good signing for us, I personally think. Last question, and we'll wrap it because, like I said, we're going to keep it short and sweet. What do Manchester United? I'm gonna ask two questions actually. One is what Liverpool need to win the title because you're claiming that you win the title. I want players. And the second one, obviously, I'll give my thoughts as well on that. And the second question, what do Man United need to go from 6 to the top 4? In your opinion, so what do Manchester United need to sign, or who do Man United need to sign from now to the end of the window to finish above Arsenal in your eyes? What are your thoughts?
What do Man United need to sign? I'll raise you one higher. Man United sign a new manager and they win the league. Never mind make it to the top 4. I think if United get Zidane tomorrow, they are in contention. They actually will be in there for the league title with 2 weeks to go. Even whether they win it or lose it, that's not the discussion. They will be in an actual league title race towards the end. It's gonna just take maybe 2-3 weeks to the end where they lose hope or win it. But I think they get a Zidane and they 100% challenge. That's the best signing United can make. In terms of individual quality, it's still there, 100%. There is individual quality, plethora of talent, but the man in charge. Here's the thing, Osman, and you know this. If you take your mind back just a little bit with the Alex Ferguson and Rafa Benitez thing, when Rafa Benitez came on in press conference and was like, "I'm talking about facts," and he absolutely lost his mind. That's the one thing I feel like people don't discuss when it comes to mentality, because I feel like Pep and Klopp, it's not necessarily Oli beating Klopp on a one-on-one or beating Pep on a one-on-one.
Yeah.
It's actually him when it's pressure time, when it's squeaky bum time, as they call it. Actually keep the mindset of the United 11 intact. Don't make them feel pressure. Make them calm down. That's the things which I don't think Oli can provide. That's why I have them finishing 6th.
You think Oli is the difference between 6?
100%.
So he can't finish top 4 in your eyes?
No, you can 100%. You can finish top 4, but obviously, that's just in my opinion. The Arsenal thing is because they have 1 game a week. Leicester are finally gonna get over the hurdle with the entire them winning the FA Cup thing. So it's a few theories I have in mind, but I think if you get a new manager, forget top 4, you win the league. So I think that's definitely the best signing. What do Liverpool need? Saul a forward and a backup right back if Nico Williams goes. I think forward is definitely important as well. Saul, I think, is would be absolutely perfect. The midfield of Fabinho, Thiago, and Saul, 100% best midfield in the league, or second best behind City. I'm not gonna argue that, but obviously that midfield with Fabinho in there,
third behind McFred. Obviously, you forgot about McFred, bro. Come on.
I think with United, in terms of, like, if obviously the two positions they still have not fixed is right wing and CDM. Those two they have not fixed. I've told you obviously yesterday with the Sancho thing. It might not work. So that's basically it for United. Sign a new manager. For Liverpool Football Club, midfielder, forward, and backup right back, and we're good to go.
Right, okay, fair enough. Look, first and foremost, regarding the Husam Socials, obviously people know my thoughts. I'll put us in third because I just don't think he's got the minerals. The bottle, as you said quite correctly, I think every single time, when it really matters, he bottles it. And he's done it time and time again. So that's why I don't think we'll win the league, which is disappointing because I think we have players to at least challenge for the league title. But Ollie's just not that guy. But in terms of Liverpool, I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised you're very confident, you know. I mean, I don't think you're going to get those. I think you'll get Saul. I don't think you'll get a right back. I mean, I can't see who you'd get. I mean, Aaron's maybe. I don't know if he's available. He might be a decent backup option. I can see Liverpool potentially get someone like that. Up top, I haven't got a clue who you could sell. I know you mentioned a couple of players yesterday, but the likelihood of them guys coming to Liverpool, I don't think it's going to happen. So hopefully Firmino has another great season in defence for Liverpool as their striker, whatever that means. As Liverpool fans, just want to say a massive shout out to everyone who's tuning in. Big up, Soups, my guy. Obviously, thank you everyone for showing love. As always, make sure you slap like and subscribe to the channel. Like I said at the start of the show, I want you to keep it short and sweet. It's been a long day for both of us. Before we go, Husam, just let the people know. I know you're just on the show on your channel as well. Let the people know where they can find you, bro.
So my channel on YouTube is called This Is Football. We're approaching 750 subscribers, obviously, to the big road to the 1,000 subscriber mark. So hopefully we are getting there. To the United fans here, we will be doing Manchester United watch-alongs. We do have a Man United fan, a representative, who's going to be doing the watch-alongs. The channel is for all football fans, so not a specific group. So please do go and subscribe and support the channel. And the Twitter is Don Husam 6. That's my Twitter. Please go follow me. I do host spaces for rival fans as well, for everyone. Yes. And I do put in quite a bit of work on Twitter. So go follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to Usman's channel as well. Subscribe right now to this channel. Like the video right now. If you don't like the video, your child is going to grow up to be an Arsenal fan, and no one wants that. So please smash the like button right now on this video, and keep up the good work, Usman. Always a pleasure coming on.
Alhamdulillah. I appreciate the love. Obviously, make sure you show love to him. Listen, just quickly on his Twitter and his spaces, if you know, through the grapevine, this guy is basically a go in that territory, that field of work. So make sure you tune into them. This guy's violin. He's got every Arsenal fan on the strings. So obviously make sure you tune in for that. In terms of my content, stay tuned. As Husam said just briefly on his own channel, we are doing a lot of content regarding other teams. We have got the Culture Show tomorrow, hopefully on Wednesday. We've also got a couple of shows coming for you guys, Thursday show and Friday show, weekly shows. And also when FIFA's coming out, we're going to do a Pro Clubs team as well. So that's going to be absolutely lit. So follow my FIFA people. Make sure you slash a like on the video. And just before I go, tomorrow's show is on Usman Talks, my second channel. Got Daps on from Never Afar. We're going to be talking men's mental health. Obviously depression, overcoming those struggles. Dap's going to be sharing a lot of his stories, so make sure you tune in for that. But apart from that, it's been your boss, man. Check out our links down below. Peace.